Did Dave Portnoy just deliver the most brutal political takedown of the year, all over a rogue email? When a political operative, trying to link a controversial candidate to the Boston Red Sox and private equity, reached out to Barstool Sports' own El Presidente, he probably wasn't anticipating a history lesson delivered with maximum prejudice. Before we dive into this explosive exchange, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow. The story begins with Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner, a figure already embroiled in controversy over a tattoo featuring a symbol directly associated with the Nazi Schutzstaffel. The SS Plattner's campaign, it seems, decided to lean into a populist streak, targeting what they perceive as the private equity curse on Boston sports, specifically the Red Sox. In an ad, Plattner called out Fenway Sports Group, the owner of the Red Sox, for its involvement with private equity firms. The ad also made a rather direct plea, referencing the team's trade of star outfielder Mookie Betts in 2020, stating, "I miss Mookie Betts." This was a clear attempt to connect with frustrated fans and position Plattner as a champion against corporate greed in sports. Now, here's where Dave Portnoy enters the picture. A political strategist named Jeff Coote, working with Plattner's campaign, reached out to Portnoy on Thursday. Coote alerted Portnoy to the ad, framing it as an example of Plattner's populist streak and commiserating about fan anger over the Red Sox and their owner, John Henry II. Coote essentially floated the idea of a sports-themed ad collaboration, aiming to leverage Portnoy's massive platform. Portnoy, who is Jewish, didn't just ignore the email. He shared the entire exchange on X, and his initial response was, to put it mildly, cutting. He immediately recognized the operative's connection to Plattner and, without hesitation, brought up the infamous tattoo. "Hey Jeff. Now this is the Nazi guy, right? Yeah, I'd be happy to talk to him about that tattoo and him being a Nazi," Portnoy wrote, adding sarcastically, "I'm not as interested in his baseball takes." He even suggested setting up a time to talk. When Coote responded with a simple nice one, Portnoy, ever the direct communicator, followed up with, "Is that a no?" Coote, clearly taken aback but still attempting to salvage the situation, said he would consider connecting Portnoy with Plattner if they could find a way to have a productive conversation. But Portnoy wasn't done. He wasn't just pushing back, he was dissecting the operative's approach. "What's that mean? You reached out to a Jew to poo-poo a Nazi?" "I'm not Bernie Sanders," he retorted, drawing a parallel to the Vermont senator, who is also Jewish but has endorsed Plattner, highlighting the perceived absurdity of the campaign strategy. He then laid down his terms: "If your boy isn't a Nazi and can handle me one-on-one in a convo, set it up. If he can't, you should fire yourself for thinking I'd want to glamorize this clown." The implications here are significant. Plattner's campaign attempted to use a mainstream media figure and influencer to legitimize a candidate whose political messaging is overshadowed by his deeply concerning personal symbolism. Portnoy, by immediately calling out the Nazi Association and refusing to engage on the superficial private equity talking point, effectively exposed the campaign's flawed strategy. He made it clear that for him, the candidate's past and his symbols are not something to be swept under the rug for a political ad. The fallout from this exchange was swift. After Portnoy posted the email chain, he continued to question why Plattner's campaign would ever think he'd want to play footsie with a Nazi. The campaign's attempt at a cultural connection through sports backfired spectacularly, with Portnoy using his platform to highlight the very issue Plattner's team seemed to hope would be overlooked. Adding another layer to the unfolding drama, the Red Sox's own broadcast partner, NESN, pulled Plattner's ad halfway through the Red Sox game against the Minnesota Twins on Friday. NESN cited credible concerns about intellectual property use, with Plattner appearing to use the same red font synonymous with the Red Sox. This pulled ad further illustrates how Plattner's campaign is struggling to maintain control of its messaging and avoid controversy. Plattner himself confirmed the ad's takedown on social media, even tweeting that after NESN stopped airing the ad, the Red Sox blew a 4-0 lead, attempting to spin the situation as further evidence of the private equity curse. What does this all mean? It means that in today's hyper-connected political landscape, attempting to gloss over deeply problematic associations with slick marketing campaigns is a losing strategy, especially when you cross paths with someone like Dave Portnoy. The Plattner campaign sought to tap into fan frustration, but in doing so, they inadvertently amplified the most damaging aspect of their candidate, the Nazi symbolism. Portnoy, in his uniquely blunt fashion, ensured that the conversation stayed focused on what truly matters: the candidate's character and the alarming symbols he chooses to represent himself. This incident serves as a stark reminder that political operatives must tread carefully, for influencers and the public are watching, and they are not afraid to call out what they see as hypocrisy or outright offensive behavior. The outcome for Plattner's campaign remains to be seen, but this public relations disaster is unlikely to help his chances. So, what do you think about Dave Portnoy's response? Was he too harsh, or was this exactly what the situation called for? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is the kind of unfiltered, no-holds-barred commentary you can expect when the lines between politics, sports, and internet culture blur. We'll keep you updated on all the major developments.